Alright, so here's the first of a devlog series that I'm hoping to start here. It's going to be very unedited, very loosely scripted, just kind of a little bit rambly, but whatever. It's just going to be free form. It's just going to happen. It's going to be great. So yeah, here's the devlog for my game. So this is a survivors-like, because there totally aren't enough of those right now. There's just, it's clearly a gap in the market. There needs to be more. It's just unexploited game. So here we go. So yeah, let me just show you what I have so far, and I'll just talk it through a little bit. Okay, so here's the main menu. It's a bit basic, but that's fine. It's just temporary. Only the quit and play buttons work, but it doesn't matter. So we're going to enter now the loadout screen here before we enter the actual game mode. And here we select a weapon and two abilities. There will be in the future a hold that you can select as well, which will change some like base values, stat values for the player themselves. But I haven't done that yet. So yeah, I'm just gonna select a weapon here. I'll do the pistol. I'm just gonna pick the first ones for now. And the first two abilities, the player dash and the weapon rapid fire. And yeah, we're just gonna enter now. And here we are in the game world. So the objective of the game, in case you don't know what survivor likes are like, basically just defeat enemies. And when you defeat an enemy, they drop a XP pickup, and you pick it up by moving towards the pickup. Once you reach a certain amount of XP, you level up. And when you level up, you basically get presented with different options to upgrade with that will improve your player in some capacity. So here we've got three different options. We've got a player movement speed increase, a weapon max clip size increase, so basically how many shots you can do before you have to reload, and a weapon fire rate increase. So I'm going to go for the weapon fire rate. And so now I shoot a little bit faster. And basically the objective is to survive as long as you can, because there's going to be more and more enemies and different types of enemies as well over time. And that's why it's important to upgrade yourself so that you can basically survive or have a better chance of surviving against the onslaught of enemies that are presented to you. So that's pretty much the game loop in its entirety. It's pretty basic, which is I think why there's a bunch of new developers, including myself, starting to do this as a kind of first game, because it is a good first project, and it's kind of in a lot of like people's interest to play at the moment, because it is quite fun in terms of gameplay. It's quite simple, but I just find a lot of enjoyment out of it, mostly from the combinations of upgrades you can do, where you can basically kind of mold your current playthrough into a certain kind of build that can be really fun to just try and figure out what's like good build to do, and then just using it is just also super enjoyable. So yeah, that's pretty much the game in its entirety. I haven't got a whole lot of content yet because that's not been the focus yet, but as you can see there's more and more enemies now, like a pretty substantial amount. I'm going to use my ability here. I'll just use my rapid fire ability that let me shoot like crazy, increase the fire rate and reload rate a bunch. My other ability lets me just speed boost basically for a second or so. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've done so far. So yeah, just gonna pick this. You can see here's the weapon like current state, including like the ammo stuff, and as you can see the frame rate tanks. I need to fix that because that's the physics. I need to change it from using actual physics stuff. And I'm gonna just try out a different weapon quickly, just to demonstrate the kind of ideas of different variety. I'm also gonna take these last two abilities here. So yeah, this is the SMG weapon. It shoots a lot faster and quite a bit of weapon spread as well. As you can see, if I just literally stand still. Oh, sorry, I activated the wrong ability. Let me do that. It spreads quite a bit. And the idea is basically that you use it for much more close range, like enemies, because it does a lot less damage, but if you're nearby, you actually can do quite a decent amount of damage if you hit all your shots. It just requires you to be a lot closer because of the weapon thread. But yeah, one of my abilities here is the rapid fire again, so as you can see I shoot like crazy. Doesn't last very long, but it's good for some situations. And my other ability here, which is found E, will actually double the amount of shots I shoot, like projectiles I shoot per shot. So I'm going to do that, and now I have 4 per shot instead of 2. And once again, the performance is tanking because there's so many enemies. I need to set a limit of how many enemies can be on screen. And also I need to improve the rendering of the background, because that background is actually per chunk, which is 256 by 256. There's 16 sprites on top of each other to sell the illusion of depth. It's not actually a 3D model, it's just 2D. I'm going to use a single quad in the future, which is just essentially doing all of that in a shader. I just haven't been bothered to do that yet, because I haven't really needed it yet. It's mostly been systems I've been working on, but I'm aware it's an issue. So yeah, that's pretty much the game so far. So it's been mostly just work on systems and a little bit on the visuals recently, just because I didn't want it to look like programmer art. I mean, I can show you how it looked like this literally 2 weeks ago. Don't ask me what's up with the Statue of Liberty enemies. I don't know. My brain was like, that's a good prototype enemy. I kind of like the pixel art UI here, but yeah, I eventually just moved on from the pixel art because it's not my strong suit. As much as I love it, it's just, yeah, not my specialty. I'm much more of a programmer than an artist, so that's why I'm doing this kind of Fui inspired stuff now. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at now. The main things I need to do now is add the new projectile system, because at the moment it's pretty inflexible. I want to add support for different types of projectiles, not just these kind of fast moving bullets. I want to have stuff like a flamethrower kind of weapon, for example. Also was thinking about like some kind of rope weapon where you kind of this will sound really weird, like I don't know if anyone's played Pokemon Rangers, where you basically have to circle around the enemies. Something a little bit like this, but a bit more physics-based, where you're actually kind of not hurting, but like a little bit like it, where you're hurting them, but then squishing them into each other, and that deals damage somehow. That was an idea I had. Yeah, so something a bit more like that, where rather than just simply bullets at the moment, that's what I'm kind of going to work on. The other thing is the whole system. I want to add that. Then it's mostly just content that I'm going to add before I release a demo and try and get some feedback. Oh, and I'll also add like a settings menu before I do the demo, so that you can change things like the volume, maybe some controls, tweak a few things like camera shake and the auto reload, for example. So that's the plan. Yeah, thanks for watching. If you guys have any feedback on both this devlog itself or the game itself, please let me know. I'd really greatly appreciate it. But yeah, again, it's super rough video. I know I say a lot and things, but I'll try and address that in the future. For now, I just kind of wanted to get this done and over with, just so I have something out there rather than kind of procrastinating, put off uploading this just devlog thing. So yeah. So yeah, let me know what you thought. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you all soon.